to the open floor. Shot blocked by TJ.
Shaver step back. Got it.
Econ is getting that mid-range to the drop.
Pick, roll, dunk.
Afternoon basketball in Boise as the Mountain West top dog, the Boise State Broncos, host a San Jose State Spartan team looking to get their first win in the Mountain West Conference, and in doing so, possibly introduce a little anarchy at the top of the Mountain West. Leonard Berry here alongside former Boise State Bronco Brian King. And Brian, Boise State on a 14-game winning streak, trying to stretch it to 15 on Thursday. Couldn't get it done. It was a hostile environment, a tough environment in the thin air of Laramie, Wyoming. And Boise State finally suffered their first Mountain West loss, mostly at the hands of Graham Ike.
Yeah, Boise State doesn't lose in December or January. It was bound to happen at some point. Laramie's probably the best place it could happen, right? A very good team. Ike just really was unguardable. 33 points against Boise State. G-Jab had a game of his own, right? 26, so they kept it close. But at the end, maybe not a bad time for Boise State to finally get that monkey off the back and get it over with. Today will be a different story against San Jose State. They shoot outside. They don't go inside. They make 9 threes a game, 37th ranked in the country in three-pointers. Boise State will really have to guard the three. It'll be a different game. San Jose State 7 players tonight. They're down to 7, so they're probably anxious to get home.
It'll be a very different matchup for Boise State, but they do have a fantastic three-point shooter of their own. Marcus Shaver Jr., maybe one of the most clutch players in the country during that 14-game winning streak for Boise State. And he started 0 for 10 at Utah State. Then everything started falling for him.
Well, that was the one he made the whole game right there. Beats Utah State. Shaking Shaver, big shot Shaver. He did it against Fresno State. He did it against San Diego State. He's so confident. He's got such a pretty jump shot. I'd let him shoot it every time down the court if I was coaching that guy.
We'll see whose outside game is better. It's San Jose State coming into ExtraMile Arena. We'll have it next as the Broncos look to defend home court on the Mountain West Network and Stadium. Welcome back to Boise. Starting fives, San Jose State and Boise State. Spartans, a team that haven't yet won a Mountain West Conference game, 0-9 in Mountain West play. But Amari Moore can really do it all. He's somebody that Boise State is going to have to key on to in this game if they want to start a new winning streak.
Yeah, new winning streak maybe starts today. The Spartans are going to try to do something about that. Amari Moore, really good player, 13 points a game. The sophomore from Senegal can really shoot it. And this is a San Jose State team that wants to shoot from behind the line. They make 9 a game. Boise State will have to guard them, have to get to that three-point line and shut that down if they're going to start that new streak today.
We'll take a look at the way the two teams match up in terms of the stat comparison. You can see both teams shoot about the same percent. It's a San Jose State team. They can definitely score, but Boise State defensively and on the glass, the best team in the Mountain West, right up there with San Diego State.
This is a defensive-oriented basketball club. They lead the conference in defense and rebounding. They're very good at it. They guard everybody. It's really hard to get shots against Boise State. Big crowd here today in Boise, Idaho. Everybody's coming out to see the Broncos play. Emmanuel Acott will not play today. Max Rice gets the start. That might throw a monkey wrench in it, but we'll see.
And Boise State at 8-1. They still are top of the Mountain West. They hold a half-game lead over Wyoming. There were some crazy things that went down late night in the Mountain West, including San Diego State nearly pulling off a miraculous comeback in Fort Collins. But Boise State and San Jose State set to tip as Armush and Sean Robinson go at it. And Boise State will start the ball game with Shaver. This is a San Jose State team that has played really well this week, the third game this week for the Spartans. But when you look, as Max Rice turns the ball over, when you look at the Spartans, they faded away in the second half. The first half, they've been very strong. It's been the second half where they run into some issues, and that might be, Brian, due to a lack of depth right now.
Yeah, I think you're right. They bring 7 players to Boise, Idaho today, so depth has obviously been an issue for San Jose. And again, they have played a number of teams very tough in the first half, but that depth issue really just wears them down at the end.
Robinson loses it, and that's a free outlet and a slam for Abu Kujab.
Boy, Kijab coming off a great game at Wyoming with 26. And, you know, I love that dunk right there. He obviously could have done a lot of different Michael Jordan-type stuff with that. But this team is so disciplined. He just went up and put it in the basket. Very businesslike.
Takes the 2 free points. This is the freshman Alvaro Cardenas. Trying to make something happen for the Spartans. Here is more. 3 on the shot clock for him. Great defense by Kijab, and that is a shot clock violation. Did not get it off in time.
Boy, Boise State has done that to a number of teams on multiple possessions this year where they just guard you. They guard you the whole time. There's a little 3-quarter trap by San Jose State. I think they're going to try a lot of things today.
Dagenhart maybe had Armouche, and Rice and Shaver both thought they had the pass. A little bit of miscommunication so far for Boise State to start. Dagenhart puts the ball on the floor. Good defense from Sean Robinson, and Armouche goes up strong. That's one thing that Boise State is really good at, getting those offensive rebounds to get second possessions. Shaver's floater will drop.
Yeah, Boise State very focused on getting to the offensive glass. They lead the conference in offensive rebounding, and there Armouche just starts off early with his first one.
11.4 offensive rebounds per game for Boise State. And they get an offensive rebound on 31.5% of the chances. That is an insane number for opponents to be giving up offensive rebounds at that amount to the Broncos.
It really is. They always say offensive rebounding is really just a mindset, right? And they have it in their mind to go get that basketball. Watch Boise State defend. I mean, anytime somebody touches the ball, there is not much freedom for them to do anything with it once they get it.
That was Cardenas, hands all up in his face from Marcus Shaver. Now Kijab, just a little bit of a physical error there, dribbled it off his ankle.
2 turnovers early for Boise State. You know, they only average 12, which is really not horrible. They've had a couple of games where they've gotten a little loose with the ball. You know, they beat Fresno with 24 turnovers in one game and come out with a victory. So they've cleaned it up dramatically since then.
San Jose State team, as we mentioned, hasn't won a game in the Mountain West yet. In fact, they haven't won a game since January 8th, but they'll get their first points right here, and they come courtesy of Josh O'Garo.
I think any basket San Jose State gets today, Coach Tim Miles is going to be pretty happy about. Another offensive rebound. Kijab.
And that is going to be a foul. I think you're right, Brian. You know, Tim Miles is a guy who hasn't patrolled the sideline in a couple of years as well. Returned to coaching after a 2-year hiatus, and this Spartan team at the moment, it's really not made up of any of his guys yet. So he's trying to find a way to get the pieces all to work together. And when you only have 7 bodies, it's even more difficult to do that.
Definitely a rebuild for Tim Miles. Boy, that shot looked good by Max Rice. He just cannot get that thing to go down this year.
They're going to call a foul against Abu Kijab on the loose ball during the rebound. So that'll give it back to the Spartans. Here's another look.
Boy, right on line, just about an inch too long for Max. Back to Tim Miles. I mean, really a storied coaching career in the NCAA. I mean, had a great run at Nebraska, took him to the NCAA tournament, coached at Colorado State. And so I think San Jose State should feel really fortunate to have a guy of his quality on the sideline.
4 points. This come courtesy of MJ, Myron Amy Jr. And it's a tie basketball game here early.
San Jose mix it up defensively. They fell to the zone that time. The Broncos will turn it over once again.
Another turnover for Boise State. Not something that Leon Rice will be too excited to see. This time it's Armouche with the travel.
Baby travel. It wasn't much of one. A bit of a baby travel.
3 turnovers already against the Broncos here in the first 4 minutes. And a look at Pavle Kuzmanovic getting some more action. He saw the hardwood for 7 minutes in Boise State's loss on Thursday.
I think that's a really good addition for Boise State. You know, obviously battling injuries the whole season, but having him back out there, I think is really good for this last run into the conference tournament.
And on Thursday, Boise State used a lot of different players. Try and get some rest. Thin air up there in Laramie, 7,220 feet above sea level.
What I gotta love about Kuzmanovic is he is not afraid to go get a basket. I mean, you can tell every time he touches it, he's looking for an opportunity. Oh.
Trey Smith tips the pass. That'll send us to a timeout. We're tied early in the City of Trees. 4-4 between the Broncos and the Spartans on the Mountain West Network and Stadium. Few teams in the entire nation have been better than Boise State since the start of December. You look at those numbers, Broncos 7th in the country in scoring defense, 7th in the Ken Palm adjusted defensive rankings, and holding their opponents down throughout the last 2 months.
Yeah, they really have. This again, they really defend you, especially when you're in Boise, Idaho. They win 81% of the time when they're playing on this court.
Glenn Armouche is going to go to the free throw line. Armouche has been really quiet ever since the career game against Utah State. He had 22 and 19 in that game. Since then, hasn't come close to 10 points in any contest.
Yeah, it's really good when he gets touches for Boise State. I think it opens a lot of things up, and that was obviously a called play out of a timeout. They got it to him deep in the block, and he's really skilled around the basket. And obviously, look at that body. I mean, that's a lot of beef right there on Armouche.
This season, when Landon Armouche scores 10 or more points, Boise State is 6-0. So getting him touches on the block is important to Boise State's success, but they've also proved that they can win games when he doesn't score in double digits.
Well, that's good. He got one of those free throws to go down. That's 50% already, above his average of 35. So these are good signs for the Broncos early.
Amari Moore trying to get going, and maybe that shot up off the window will get him the start. San Jose State has their first lead at 6-5.
Yeah, really nice player. Moore is talented. Little mix up in the 1-3-1 zone now for San Jose State. They've showed 4 different defenses already.
And it's definitely affecting Boise State in the passing lanes. That's the second time we've seen a pass tipped. This time it's O'Garo who gets a hand to it.
You know, I think with both of these teams, at some point we're going to probably talk about fatigue, right? I mean, I think this is the 9th game in the last 21 days for both teams. And, of course, you've got travel in between and flying all over the place. And I think both these teams probably a little exhausted, and another turnover for Boise State.
3 ball. That's what San Jose State likes to do. Tibet Goriner is the one who was unable to hit it. Transfer from Arizona is Goriner. Into SJSU this year after playing in 8 games last year at Arizona.
You know, Leonard, we see that on so many rosters these days. They started at X and they went to Y. We've got an Arizona transfer. Of course, Boise State has an Arizona transfer, an Oregon transfer, a Portland transfer, San Jose State, an Ole Miss transfer. That is the new wave in college basketball.
It certainly is. And things have changed, of course, with the different waivers and the ability to play right away in some special situations. But really, it's about getting the best fit as Degenhart takes a charge. They've been calling him the charge guy for Boise State, and he comes through with another one.
Boy, that rule has changed dramatically over the years. You know, it used to be you had to be set. You could not be moving at all. That has changed, and Degenhart has mastered the skill of drawing a charge.
It's something he's picked up because he didn't have it on the very first time he was in the starting lineup. As Najee Smith goes over and back, he touched it in the front court and then lost control without a tip.
Boy, it kind of looked like a tip to me. There was a lot of different hands that touched that basketball. But that will count as another turnover. There's a tip right there. Doesn't matter. Turnover. Officials already blown the whistle.
Already did. It was certainly tipped out of the hand of Mac Rice, but then Smith touched in the front court, and it looked like no one else for San Jose State got involved, which is why they called the backcourt. Seemed to be a pretty good and clean call from the officials there. So another turnover against Boise State. Spartans try to add to their lead. This is that Ole Miss transfer, Robinson. And he spins and loses it away. A turnover for San Jose State.
Both teams starting a little slow, but it's a, it's a Saturday afternoon game, and I think Boise State will get it going here pretty quick. Again, San Jose State will come this time with more of a full court trap look. A little 2-1-2. Well, that ball's got to move. You don't want to dribble against that thing.
Hijab has no dribble now, but finds an escape to Shaver, and you can see on the top of your screen, Tim Miles calling out a different defense now that he wants his Spartans to switch into.
Back to a man-to-man this time. Again, Tim Miles knows what he's doing. He's going to give it his best today.
Degenhart going to turn it over. Rice led him astray with the pass. And Amari Moore has to just tip it away. 3 in and out. That's Trey Smith.
You just don't want to give San Jose State open looks. That's really the only way they can beat you.
Well, Shaver gets an open look, and Shaver cashes in, puts the Broncos back on top. First three-pointer for the Broncos.
Boy, I think I'd want the ball in Shaver's hand all day today. Keep it in his hands, get it into the paint, let your bigs go to work. I don't think San Jose State can guard that.
There's another outside opportunity for Smith. Only Spartan who started in every game this season. Even goes to show you more so about how they've been struggling with getting the roster connected. Shaver trying to make it back-to-back triples, and it's off of Degenhart.
Get a second layer to the 3 by Shaver. Always looks good when it leaves his hand. Well, I love what Tim Miles is doing for San Jose State. They have now played 5 different looks defensively. They're just going to junk it up as much as they can to try to keep this thing close, and I think that's exactly what he has to do.
Can't let Boise State get too comfortable in their offensive set. Cardenas spinning right around Degenhart, and a crafty finish at the rim.
Cardenas all the way from Spain. Those rims are nice for him already. 2-3 zone this time for San Jose State. Ball's got to move for the Broncos.
And when you're trying to manage fatigue, switching up defensive sets might not be the best way to do it because you're asking so much of your players to be moving around, bouncing around all over the court, but at the moment,
that is true, but you're putting pressure on the offensive team as well because now they've got to think about it, right? They've got to come down and kind of regroup. They've got to rethink. They've got to call something else out. So I think good strategy by Coach Marcus.
The mental game inside the physical game. We see another
Ball
zone.
needs to find that high post. There you go.
Degenhart throws it up and gets the foul.
Geez, what a freshman year this kid has had for Boise State. 5 times the Mountain West Freshman of the Year. He has had a stellar start in Boise, Idaho.
He might well be on his way to a Freshman of the Year award with those 5 Freshman of the Week pickups that he has. This is an incredible spark for Boise State since entering the starting lineup back in the St. Louis game for Boise State. That was a loss for the Broncos here at home. But since inserting Degenhart into the starting lineup, Boise State has lost just 2 games. The game against the Billikens and Thursday in Wyoming as Kijab got the steal and then lost it right back. Gorner outside, a little bit too long off back rim. Mari Moore now trying to find Trey Smith, and another turnover in the contest. That's clean as well. Degenhart takes it away and goes to the rim and one again.
He's so confident with the ball. He made that look a lot easier than it really was. Great play by Degenhart. Finishes with the left.
Scramble to a score. Broncos by 5 when we come back. Tyson Degenhart's going to be at the free throw line, and you can see why. He's taking a lot of harm on his way to the hoop.
Boy, the fabulous freshman from Spokane, Washington, 5, maybe about to make it 6, but he's been a big reason that this Boise State team has done so well the last couple of months. Like you said, they inserted him in the lineup against St. Louis. The Broncos kind of struggled early in the season. Whatever the reason, he may be a big part of why this team has turned around.
Boise State managed to take St. Louis to overtime here at ExtraMile Arena. It was an 86-82 loss for Boise State as Degenhart connects on the free throw. After that, rattled off some program best 14 straight wins, though. Definitely something that changed the tide of their season. And now, lots of projections placing them back in the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2015, but still, plenty of season left to go. Or Goru.
Great play by Degenhardt.
A lot of hustle. Hijab slows things down. Another drive from the freshman. Off the glass and in.
Makes it look pretty easy. A little more energy out of Boise State the last couple possessions. I think Leon might have had a little bit to say in timeout maybe over there, but there's a little bit more passion right now from the Broncos.
It's an 8-0 run for the Broncos. This one goes flying, and Smith and the Spartans will get to keep it.
Get another look right here.
Degenhardt.
Officials don't miss calls, right? They don't miss them.
Degenhardt always reactionary.
Right, like I didn't do that. I didn't touch it. San Jose State, boy, they really want to get it to that three-point line.
They haven't hit one yet. They're 0 for 6.
Oh.
Robinson from outside. And finally, the Spartans have their first 3-ball.
Yeah, you don't think your 7-footer is going to step out and start hitting threes against you, but Robinson just did. 16-11, San Jose State hanging around. Back to his own.
Robinson missed his only 3 he took in Logan.
DJ, just turn around and shoot it. It's a 12-footer.
They'll get it back. This is where Kijab loves to operate, in that little post, baby hook, and that is money.
Boy, pretty hard to guard. When he gets it that low, that baby hook, that's pretty hard to guard. Broncos will play man.
Kijab had a ton of success in the post against Wyoming, on his way to those 26 points.
Well, he's a lot down there. 6'8", strong, athletic. He's hard to handle down there. Shot clock at 6.
Robinson loses again. Goriner outside, 3 more. And this is what Boise State can't afford to have happen, is let the Spartans get hot from outside.
Yeah, their scouting report was guard the 3. No easy looks. Now, that was not an easy look, right? That was a very difficult shot.
Big step back 3-pointer from Goriner. Najee Smith wants to get in on the downtown action.
Well, we talked about it earlier. San Jose State, they just hang around. They just don't let you blow them out.
They suffered a couple of very tough losses this week. Lost to Fresno State February 1st at home, only scored 43 in the contest. They gave up 73, lost by 30 as Hijab draws the foul. And then at Utah State, 78-62 was the final in favor of the Aggies. But again, both of those contests saw San Jose State within single digits going into halftime before things just fell apart in the second half.
Well, and again, it just has to be a little bit about first-year program, right? First-year coach, 7 guys on the roster today. Pretty hard to compete for 40 minutes with 7 guys.
Kijab shooting 2, taking his time to put up the first. He's been a much improved free throw shooter as of late compared to the beginning of the season, something he really worked on after that loss against St. Louis for Boise State, where he left a lot of points at the line. He went 9 of 11 against Wyoming, did the 50 or forward.
Yeah, the whole team really has rebounded on the free throw percentage. Leonard, I think the last game we did, they were second to the last in the nation in free throw shooting. They are not second to the last anymore, but I'm not going to say they're halfway up the ladder, but they are climbing the ladder.
They're up to 61.2%.
With the crowd here at ExtraMile Arena really wants to get into this.
MJ Amy Jr. Ogaro from outside. The Spartans are going to take early clock threes. They're going to take late clock threes. They're going to take threes whenever they can.
Yeah, they're going to take the first look they can get because they may not get another one, especially against the Boise State team.
Kuzmanovic taking his first look.
It's a good shot by Kuzmanovic. Right shot at the right time.
12 minutes gone in half number 1. Boise State by 6. San Jose State trying to pick up their first road win in the Mountain West play since 2017. Cardenas, a little drop-off pass, and that's a little bit too easy for Josh O'Garo right there underneath the hoop.
Yeah, good patience by San Jose State. Boise State guarded them well. They ran it deep in the clock. They got a good look out of it. Well, this zone seems to really frustrate Boise State. They're just not very comfortable with it. That's the right place for it to go, though.
Kuzmanovic, no, tipped out O'Garo and picked up by MJ. Amy Jr. waiting for that high screen. Here's the drive on Armish, and a foul is called. I believe it'll go against Milan Armish. It'll be Myron Amy Jr. at the free throw line when we come back. Boise State leading by 4, getting it done inside. Five-time Mountain West Freshman of the Week, Tyson Degenhart. Been a spark plug for Boise State ever since he joined the starting lineup a week ago. 11 points and 4.5 rebounds per game in wins over Wyoming and Fresno State for Boise State to win the award. Those actually came 2 weeks ago at this point. But he's been doing everything for the Broncos, cleaning the glass, attacking offensively, and providing good defense.
Boy, he really has. He's a fabulous freshman here in Boise, Idaho, and he plays with such confidence and such poise. And honestly, I think the rest of the Boise State team really feeds off of that. He's very comfortable with the basketball.
Amy Jr. goes 1 of 2 at the free throw line. Makes it a one-possession game once again, and Tim Miles substituting out the freshman Amy Jr. He's got to keep his players fresh. We've seen quite a bit of rotation here early. A lot of different players getting minutes, and the zone frustrating Boise State so much when they get into this half-court set.
Yeah, it really has. And, I just talked about in the break there, maybe Degenhart at the high post is a good solution, and that's where he is. I think that's a good place for the ball to start.
Kuzmanovic, time and space. 3 goes down.
I like that kid. That's his 3rd attempt, but he doesn't shy away. If he's open, he's going to shoot it.
Didn't have any points against Wyoming in Laramie. Gets his first 3 here tonight. Extends the Boise State lead to 6.
San Jose State's done a nice job of spreading Boise State out. They keep it really wide. There's a lot of gaps to dribble, and Moore just hits an easy bucket for him. Wide open 3.
Yeah, that corner 3. Kuzmanovic firing away again.
He's not afraid. He's not afraid. You better not leave him open.
The Serbian sophomore strikes again. 6 points.
I like that. The Serbian sophomore. I love that.
This is Trey Smith across the way.
Oh! Almost looked like it hit the backboard. The one thing Boise State really wanted to guard against was the 3-point shot.
It's turned into a 3-point contest here over the past couple of minutes. We'll see if Kuzmanovic gets left open again. Armish instead doubled. Huge push-off. That's going to be an offensive foul. We'll take another look.
Yeah, he did. He pushed for sure. Well, yeah, I think that's probably a good call. It was a little more than a push. A little more than a push. The big fella said, just get off me.
When you think of in terms of making a basketball move or a basketball play, that's not necessarily the first thing that comes to most people's mind.
No, that was like a professional wrestler move right there.
So San Jose State with the ball back and an opportunity to tie on this possession if they can keep it going outside. Instead, they'll turn it over. Key jab with the steal. Rice quick in the shot clock. In, out, and down.
Oh, Max Rice needed that to go in. This looks like a Golden State Warriors game, and we've just got 3s raining everywhere.
That type of shot is really an indication of Rice's whole season as Coroner travels. I mean, everything for Max Rice this season, he does the things right, and the ball just doesn't find the bottom of the hoop for him, and it almost was the same story right there.
I guarantee you, when that hit the rim the second time, he went Not again. Not again. You got the kind roll, and maybe that's the shot that Max Rice gets it going this year.
Boise State by 6. Just about 4.5 to go in the first half. Spartans doing a fantastic job of staying close in this one. Kuzmanovic trying to go for 3. Another long offensive rebound. Degenhardt will shoot it across the floor. That's deep from Rice.
Jeez, okay, guys. Kind of got some big guys on that team. You might want to put that ball down in post. Let Kijab go to work.
That's the size mismatch. Degenhardt. Pump fake gets him some space and a good drive. And if there's one thing Tyson Degenhardt knows how to do as a freshman, it's create his own shot.
He creates his own shot, and he's great at his angles and using the backboard. He finds a way to get that ball up on the glass.
Drive by Trey Smith, and it's waved off on the floor. That's a foul and a timeout. It goes against Max Rice. Kuzmanovic heating up from distance. Leonard Berry, Brian King with you. Three-point shooting, the story of the night so far. Both teams have taken more than 50% of their total field goal attempts from beyond the arc. And Brian, when you think about the way the defense is being played in this game, those have been the easiest shots to come by.
Yeah, they really have. 23 attempts between the two teams, and they're just bombing away today. That's the one thing on Boise State scouting report was no rhythm threes. That's the only way San Jose State can keep this game close. And they've done a really nice job of spreading Boise State out just like that. Kick to the corner. That's 24 attempts now between these two teams.
Najee Smith doing great on the closeout defense for the Broncos.
Back to a 2-3 zone for San Jose State. Boy, the ball needs to get to that high post area. There it is. Things get a little easier when that happens.
And you see it faces the floor for Tyson Degenhardt.
Get it to the high post, turn and face. Lots of opportunities when that happens.
13 points for Degenhardt. Another run for the Broncos. 8-0 over the last 2 minutes for Boise State, and they're up by 11.
They're just slowly wearing San Jose State down.
Good jab step. Moore, Cardenas wide open, plenty of space, but front rim clanker. Boise State still trying to find a way to slip that ball into the high post. That's where they want it to go.
Well, and if you guard the high post, then everything else is open, right? So they certainly need to look. One more.
Good use of that low baseline by Najee Smith. And it opens up Kuzmanovic for 3. Doesn't go down. And Kijab can't secure the offensive board.
Well, you look at San Jose State, they honestly just look exhausted out there. They're just like, hey, let's slow it down a little bit. Get a breather here.
Third game in 5 days for the Spartans. Smith from deep rolls around and out. It's tough. Boise State went through very much of the same that what the Spartans are dealing with. And Degenhardt from outside again makes it 11-0 run as a timeout is called. Leon Rice calls the timeout for the Broncos.
Degenhardt with 16 in the first half. He is confident and he's backing it up.
Huge bucket for Degenhardt. Continues to have success. He's 2 for 3 from outside, 6 of 8 from the floor, and has 3 rebounds as well. He's leading all scorers by a wide margin in this one.
Well, he's just so comfortable with the ball. And honestly, Boise State shooting, they're 6 for 15 from the three-point line, 40%. It's not bad, not bad odds. If you're going to get a wide open look like that, if you're the right guy, you got to knock that down.
17th start of the season tonight for Tyson Degenhardt. He's averaging 9.5 points per game. He's well surpassed that with ease here already in the first half tonight. Broncos are going to try to tire out the Spartans even more by guarding them the length of the floor.
I was just thinking the same thing. I'm like, geez, Leon, put salt in the wound. Just pick them up full court and really wear them out.
A bit of relaxed pressure, though, for Boise State, as Moore didn't have any difficulty bringing it over the half-court line.
Cardenas, nice-looking player from Spain.
He's got a little bit of professional experience, but he turns the ball over here. Kijab with another steal tonight, and he wants to carry it all the way. They'll call a foul. They'll count the basket as well, and Boise State continues to grow this run.
Boy, size matters on this one. 6'8". There's a freight train coming down the court at you right here. He just bullies his way right to the rim.
Myron Amy Jr. was the man on the train tracks, just 6'5", 178 pounds. Kijab, 6'8", 220.
Yeah, freight train. Not sure I want to get in front of that one. Might break a rib or something. Try to take a charge on him.
What a game for Abu Kijab as well. Defensively, he's been all over the place. He's got 8 points now on 3 of 3 shooting to go along with 5 rebounds and an assist. It seems like every time San Jose State has put the ball on the floor near him, he's got a hand in there. The and one goes down as well. And Boise State up 40-23 with 1:15 to play in the first half. Moore really hasn't got involved much for San Jose State. Certainly not as much as they'd like him to. Good passing. And Amy Jr. just stopped on that baseline.
Boise State recovers really well. A little late on that one by Rice. End result, 3 for the Spartans.
Trey Smith cashes in on another one. He's got 2. He's 2 of 5. He went 4 of 7 in the loss in Logan against the Aggies. Smith and Moore are certainly the 2 you don't want to see get hot if you're Boise State. If you're San Jose State, that's exactly who you want to see getting a lot of buckets. As Robinson nearly pinned that one on the glass, but definitely shook the shot from Kijab. Shot clock turned off, and Moore will hold for the final shot of the first half.
A long ball by Robinson. Moore's going to take it himself. Got a good look.
Robinson tries to tip it out. Does. Gorner, this is off in time, but back iron for the Spartans. They can't cut down their deficit anymore. At halftime, it's the Broncos by 14. We'll have stats and highlights coming your way next. Welcome back to Extra Mile Arena. Boise State leading San Jose State University here on the Mountain West Network and Stadium. Leonard Berry, Brian King with you, former Boise State and Oregon State Hooper. After a half, it's Boise State who has the numeric advantage in plenty of categories en route to their 14-point lead. A 14-3 run for the Broncos over the last 5 minutes in that half. Boise State out shooting San Jose State 56% to 42%. 40% from 3 as well for the Broncos. You can see the numbers on your screen. Broncos winning the rebound battle as well, but a couple of other key stats that the Broncos are winning have them out to this advantage, Brian.
Yeah, Leonard, really the difference maker right here is Boise State's turned it over 8 times. San Jose State's only converted that into 2 points. San Jose State has turned it over 9 times. Boise State 15 points off of those turnovers. That's the big difference. 10 fast break points for Boise State, none for San Jose State. That's the difference in the ballgame right now. This has obviously been a bit of a 3-point shootout. 41 threes taken between both teams. It's Saturday afternoon. They're both tired. That probably makes some sense. But the turnover is a big issue, and the conversion of those turnovers from Boise State really is the difference so far in the first half.
Certainly in a 14-point game, when you look at what Boise State's been able to do off those turnovers, and getting the run out makes it that San Jose State can't set up in that half-court zone that has just plagued the Broncos so far in this game. Boise State just hasn't figured out where to get the ball at the moment, or they've known to get the ball to the high post, but San Jose State's done such a great job of denying that entry pass that Boise State hasn't had a lot of good looks, and it's forced turnovers.
Yeah, it really has. San Jose State's mixed up their defense. It's frustrated Boise State, but, you know, fabulous freshman Degenhart comes to the rescue. 16 in the first half, and Kuzmanovic off the bench with a couple of big bombs for him.
Yeah, Boise State has seen a lot of individual success as well. It's been a team game so far, a lot of threes jacked up. We'll talk about some individual numbers later on. Halftime at Extra Mile Arena, Boise State leading the Spartans. in Boise. The league-leading Broncos leading the Spartans, who are yet to pick up a win in Mountain West Conference play. Big discrepancy between the two sides in terms of where they are in the standings. And at the moment, a big difference on the score sheet. Thanks a lot to Tyson Dagenhart. Brian, you call him the fabulous freshman. Well, he has been exceptional here today so far.
Boy, he really has. We saw the first highlight there taking the charge, but look at a look at his shot chart here. There's a couple of layups. That was a tough finish with the left hand. He's been in the high post. He steps out and hits the three. He's 2 for 3 from the field. That's another little kiss off the glass for Tyson. 16 points in the first half. He just makes it look really simple.
He opened it up on the outside with those three-pointers falling, that he started to be able to create that shot inside, get defenders in the air with the pump fake, and it has been very beneficial for him so far in this contest. 6 of 8 from the floor, like you mentioned. Also adding 3 rebounds. There is his heat map. 4 of 5 from the interior. That's a big deal for Boise State to get that inside scoring, that paint presence.
Yeah, he's really hard to guard. You know, if you jam it up inside and he doesn't get it, he just kind of fades to the corner, finds an open spot, the ball finds him, he knocks it down. He is not afraid to shoot it either. You give him an inch and he's going to nail one on you.
San Jose State, and not a team that's afraid to shoot the ball from anywhere on the floor either. They like to do it from outside, though. They've taken 24 shots. 16 of those have been three-pointers, and they've made 5 of them. Boise State's done well defensively, but there's no guarding something like that.
No, they've made some tough shots, and of course, Coach Tim Miles, his first year there, new team, new players, very young, a couple of transfers. That's really the only chance they have to win or sneak a victory out wherever they go. So they're going to bomb away. And if you give them a look, you give them a clean look, they're going to knock them down.
You can see where San Jose State as a team is having the most success. That near side corner, 2 for 2 from outside. Not a whole lot from the top of the key, however. The Spartans will want to try to dial in and fix that.
Yeah, and by spreading, and what San Jose State does is they try to really spread you out. They dribble drive. Occasionally, they're going to get those layups. It's 3 for 5 that we're showing right here. Then they get to kick to the corner. That's when they can hurt you.
They'll try to hurt Boise State in the second half. It's 40-26, Broncos on top. Mountain West action on a Saturday. Boise State, San Jose State. Broncos trying to get back in the win column after losing to Wyoming on Thursday. San Jose State trying to get their first win and possibly topple the top dogs. You see the Spartans down at the bottom. You see the Broncos with the half-game lead over Wyoming even after that loss. And Brian, when you look at those net rankings, this is a conference right now playing very well, beating up on each other, however, which is going to make it tough for them to send multiple teams to that Mountain West, or excuse me, to the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, Leonard, I mean, this is a very good basketball conference this year. I mean, obviously you're going to stare at the first 3 or 4 teams there, but you look down at Utah State and UNLV, and all of a sudden, these teams are coming back. And Utah State has fought injury. Their point guard, Rylan Jones, has been out. He'll be healthy in a week or 2. Utah State's obviously always a very good basketball program, and UNLV can compete. San Diego State and Fresno, and then, you get the top 3 dogs. Very good basketball conference, and I think the Mountain West tournament's going to be spectacular.
San Diego State, maybe a surprise to everyone at 4-3. They just lost last night in Fort Collins. Crazy ending there. Fresno State just beat Nevada, but it's Boise State trying to extend their lead at the top. We'll have more when we come back on the Mountain West Network and Stadium. As are the San Jose State Spartans. Leonard Berry, Brian King with you. Now, Brian, I know you played at Boise State back in the Big Sky days, but I need you to not be Brian King, the basketball player. I need you to be Brian King, the bracketologist right now. You take a look at Boise State's tournament resume. Season ends today. They're more than likely in, but they don't have an easy road coming up to finish out the season.
I mean, you got to think they're more than likely in, but you don't want to put the cart before the horse. I mean, this is, again, a very, very good conference. They have tough games ahead of them. Thankfully, if you're a Boise State fan, most of those are here in Boise, Idaho, so that helps. But you got to think if they get 20, 21 wins, most likely they're going to get a sniff for sure.
Only 3 games on the road left, at Air Force, at UNLV, and at Colorado State. Of course, Fort Collins is going to be a very tough trip to end the season for the Broncos. Just a couple of days before that Mountain West tournament kicks off. But Boise State at the moment 4-1 in the quad one, 2-1 in Quad 2, and a lot of key victories on the road at Utah State, at San Diego State, at Fresno State. All of those games won, of course, by Marcus Shaver and his clutch 3 balls.
Right, and I wouldn't say Boise State is peaked right now. I mean, they're getting healthy, right? Kuzminovich is back. We're just going to have to wait and see. There's a lot of basketball to play, Leonard.
A lot of basketball to play, not only in the season, but in this one as well, as the Spartans begin the third quarter. As they do, hucking up a 3. Corner missing from that far corner, as San Jose State now goes right to left, and Boise State goes left to right. Ejab wants to get space, floats it up over Robinson. Armish is there for the and one.
Armish got space. That's just a big body down there. If he gets it in the paint, he gets it on the block, he's pretty hard to defend. That's just a wide load.
And it's tough for the 6'6" Omari Moore to even think about going up for that rebound against the 6'10" Armish. Not much that he could do, but foul. And Mladen's next free throw also goes down, making him 2 for 3 at the line.
2 for 3. That's fantastic. Boise State, a little pressure, a little man pressure here.
Bump and run by Shaver all the way into the front court. Moore's pass tipped, and it's Armish who will get credit for the steal as Degenhardt scores the fast break points, and there it is, the turnovers into the fast break points as Tim Miles calls a timeout. So the Spartans and the Broncos head back to their bench. Rice finds Degenhardt, and Boise State starts off the second half the right way. Leading San Jose State by nearly 20 at the moment. There's a look at how the Broncos have got to that 17-5 record. Certainly helped out by a program best 14-game winning streak.
Boise State's played a tough schedule. I mean, Utah Valley the first game. Who's Utah Valley? They beat BYU. So Utah Valley's quality program, good win at Ole Miss, and of course St. Louis, they took them to the buzzer, and they've played a tough schedule, and quite honestly, they've had a great season, and I don't think they've peaked. I think the best is yet to come.
As of today, Boise State sits at number 28 in the Ken Pom, the program's highest ranking. Opportunity possibly for it to increase. This was tipped into the backcourt. You can hear what the crowd thinks of it as Cardenas misses the shot at the end of the shot clock. And Shaver just lost it. Not much outside impact. T-Jab gets back into the passing lane, though, for Boise State. We're seeing a lot of turnovers, but again, San Jose State not capitalizing off them in the same vein that the Broncos are capitalizing on the Spartan turnovers.
Yeah, there we see the backcourt. There we see Leon pleading his case. Come on, ref. I'm going to give it to Amari Moore. Needs to look. He needs to look for a shot a little bit more. He's been very passive. He's had opportunities to get to the basket. He needs to be a little more aggressive. He's the best player, the leading scorer. He's just kind of been a little distant today.
In fact, Moore is one of only 16 players in all Division I to lead their team in points, rebounds, and assists. 13.6 points, 5.7 rebounds, and 4.8 assists are the numbers for Moore coming into this one. But today, so far, he's got just 5 points, and he's turned the ball over almost as much as he shot it. 3 turnovers and just 4 shot attempts as Kijab gets whacked and still finishes.
Yeah, great called play, great set, took advantage of his size. But back to Moore, I mean, he's their guy, right? He is the guy, and he needs to start being a little more aggressive and try to get a couple buckets up.
He was the only Spartan to start every game last year, and the sophomore is a pretty big cornerstone of the future of this Tim Miles-led program. This is going to be a whistle and an offensive foul. It's Kijab who takes the charge.
Yeah, really smart play by Kijab. Moore had a little pull-up 14-footer, decided not to stop and take it. Right there, pull up, stop and hit a jumper, game over.
He's trying to share the wealth, spread the ball out, but San Jose State just needs points at the moment. They haven't even scored in the second half yet, and someone is going to have that killer mentality to rise up and put the ball through the bottom of the hoop for the Spartans.
Yeah, and if you're the guy, you don't all of a sudden just want to turn into the facilitator, right? I mean, you need to be the guy.
Degenhardt left all alone again.
Too easy, he says, too easy. Tim Miles for San Jose State just kind of smiles like, hey, I'm not sure what to do about that.
And it seems that there's one time a game, at least, since Degenhart has been in the starting lineup, where nobody on the opposing team guards him, almost daring him to hit a three, and he hits it every time.
Yeah, he's just very nonchalant, right? He just is in the right spot all the time. And it's not like he's hitting contested threes. They're just good open looks. To your point, it's like, I think maybe they might want to start guarding him.
It happens consistently for Degenhart, who's approaching his career high. He set that at CSUN earlier this year, did the freshman. 21 points in 31 minutes. Robinson at the free throw stripe. Degenhart has 21, so he has tied it next to that last three. So any bucket from here on out for Degenhart will give him a new career high.
Robinson's going to turn into be a really nice player for San Jose State. Good frame, good body, soft touch. He's just got the look. He's got the look of an NBA basketball player. He's got the look of it.
Shaver, quick drive. Robinson's there to deny him free access. Good length. Smith to Goriner. Offensive foul once again. Abu Kijev takes his second charge in the last 2 minutes.
Well, this lead gets any bigger. Kijev may want to just step out of the way for these charges and keep this guy healthy for the rest of the season.
Of course, last year when Boise State lost Abu Kijev to that shoulder injury, that was when things went downhill quickly for the Broncos. They lost the game at home to Fresno State. That was a game that many believe kept them out of last year's NCAA tournament, which was only, of course, compounded by the first-round exit to the Wolfpack of Nevada in the tournament, and a turnover and 3 for Amy Jr.
San Jose State finally capitalizes on a turnover. That, back to the Bronco resume for an NCAA tournament appearance, the one thing that could really derail that is an injury. They're not exactly deep either.
Of course, Marcus Shaver had that ankle injury that ended up being not nearly as serious as it initially looked for Boise State against Wyoming when they were playing Wyoming at home. Another drive by Amy Jr. How about that for a finish?
Great finish. Way more difficult than folks watching that at home can appreciate. Really nice finish.
That's a 6'5" freshman going amongst the tall trees and still managing to chop him down. This is an interesting matchup. Kijev in the post against Robinson.
Patient.
3-second violation. Kijev camped in the key. Spartans trying to make their way back, but giving up open opportunities to Degenhart and the Broncos. Crowd getting into it in Boise as the Broncos have the 18-point advantage. Leonard Berry, Brian King with you on the Mountain West Network and Stadium. It's been an interesting game so far, Brian. It was close at the start. San Jose State really had a lot of energy, a lot of pep in their step, a lot of different defensive looks. But in the second half so far, San Jose State has not been able to replicate that whatsoever.
Yeah, I think you're right, Leonard. And again, we've talked about this, but they bring 7 players to Boise, Idaho, right? They've played 9 times in 21 days. They're probably absolutely exhausted. Fatigue is probably set in. They're doing the best they can, but quite honestly, they're probably ready to get on that plane and head home, get in their own bed for a little bit.
Yeah, Spartans were at home on Tuesday, losing to Fresno State. Then on the road at Utah State Thursday, come straight to Boise to play the Broncos on Saturday. 3 games this week, short numbers, still doing what they can, and just trying to find a way to have some second half success are the Spartans.
Yeah, and they've got to do that against the league's leading defensive team, right? So that just really wears you down even more.
Drive by Amy Jr., but none of it will count for anything as Shaver picks up the foul before the shot attempt came off. And Amy Jr., a guy who just a month ago was the Mountain West Freshman of the Week, back on the week of January 10th. He's a player that looks like he's going to have a bright future in this league. We've seen some very impressive finishes from him around the rim. And now he tries to cash in from downtown. That's money from outside.
You set him up. Well done. San Jose State's got a really nice group of young players. I mean, Coach Miles' first year here. Quality coach. He's had a lot of success around the country. I think San Jose State's got the right job, the right guy in the right job. And, of course, you know, the Bay Area, there's a few high school basketball players floating around there, too.
A few is probably putting it a little lightly as well. There's some real talent out there in the Silicon Valley and the San Francisco, San Jose Bay Area. In the half-court set, Boise State has had a lot more success in the second half, certainly, than they did in the first. Shaver's going to go to the line. That's a good drive for the Broncos.
Yeah, really a strong take by Shaver. He's been a little quiet today. 5 points, only 4 attempts, only 2 3-point attempts. Man, Mike, I'm telling you what, I'd like that guy to get about 10 attempts a day from the three-point line.
It's been hard. Tyson Degenhardt's been taking the majority of the shots for the Broncos, and he's been scoring.
Well, it's kind of interesting. I guarantee the opposing coaches are really concerned about giving Shaver an open look. But then guess who's getting the open look? The guy knocking them all down, Degenhardt.
That free throw by Shaver going in the bucket ends what was a 9-0 San Jose State run. Officials are going to reset this after there was a switch in the lane between Gorner and O'Garo. Second for Shaver. The long pause didn't faze him at all.
He needed to catch his breath. It was probably good for him. Again, full court pressure by Boise State. They're going to try to jump on him if they can. But San Jose State's done a pretty nice job of handling this.
San Jose State has seemed to have no issue with the full court pressure. Amy Jr., another 3-ball.
Whoa.
Ho, ho, ho. What a make.
Boy, that was a tough make. But they just won't go away.
13 points for Amy on 5 of 6 shooting. Really nice game from the freshman as he's basically trying to will the Spartans back into the contest.
A little more energy by the Spartans on defense.
Smith, good pump fake, wants to score.
Smart play, good take, got all the way to the backboard.
Smith can definitely knock down that corner 3, and you can see the fear in his defender's eyes.
Yeah, it's a bit of an unorthodox looking shot, but it goes in.
Warner, no.
7 for 20 now for San Jose State from behind the line.
Warner just 2 of 7. Oh, that's a big rejection, but Shaver got fouled first. Freshman from Istanbul, Turkey, Tibet Warner. He's had looks. He made that tough step back one earlier, but really hasn't found a whole lot of opportunity when the shots have been open for him to get them to drop.
Yeah. I was just thinking about San Jose State here. Sorry, but I'm looking at the roster. They really are pretty young. I mean, they've got some nice guys coming back.
Very few upperclassmen on this team. You've got Trey Smith, the senior, and out of everyone that gets key minutes and everyone who's got key minutes tonight for the Spartans, he is the only upperclassman.
Yeah, Sean Robinson, freshman. Amari Moore, a sophomore. Cardenas, a freshman. Anderson, a freshman. O'Gara, a freshman. This is a rebuilding year for Coach Miles.
And you saw that for Boise State. But a couple of years ago for Leon Rice, had a couple of young players. Moore again looks to dish. Oh, Coroner! Well, if the three-pointer isn't falling, just rip the rim down. That's what he did right there.
Yeah, that's why he played on the Turkish national team. We just saw it right there.
Smith takes another three-pointer. San Jose State beginning to cut into the Bronco lead. It's down to 16. It's still pretty impressive for Boise State, but San Jose State, they don't give up.
Boy, they don't, and they've got as much energy right now as they had at the start of the game.
O'Gara has it poked away.
Tricky hands by Kuman. Oh, and he's going to pull it. Oh. Maybe a little ambitious.
Abu Kijab there to clean up the glass. More second chance points for Boise State. Broncos have been exceptional at limiting the opportunities for the Spartans. 9 second chance points for Boise State, none for SJSU.
Yeah, they do a really nice job of getting back defensively. Of course, they're great defensively everywhere.
Here's Smith, the senior. Kijab brings in another board. He's approaching double-double territory, 13 and 9 for the 6'8" guard. Shaver gets an open look, hasn't had many, and there's a good reason why, because he's going to splash.
Boy, really nice setup by Tyson Degenhart. Everybody thought he was going to finish that, and he just said, no, I'm going to give it to Shaver out top.
Lead back to 21. Crowd getting into it, another steal. Kijab takes it away, attacks the rim, Euros, and finishes with a plum.
He's pretty hard to stop in the open court. And, of course, you know, Kijab, he really is the straw that stirs Boise State's drink, right? I mean, if he gets it going, Boise State's very difficult to beat.
Foreigner with a whistle, foul on the floor against Abu Kijab. It's Boise State by 23, but the Spartans are hanging in there tough. About San Jose State's youth, maybe no freshman more impactful for them on the hardwood today than Myron Amy Jr. MJ with 13 points. He's done it outside, he's done it inside, and as we mentioned earlier, he's a player who's looking like he's headed for the spotlight in the Mountain West Conference.
Well, he doesn't play like a freshman either. 5 of 6 in 16 minutes. He's got 13 points. Really strong body, great jump shot. Two-sport star coming out of high school as a football player as well. I think the future is bright for number 0 right there.
It was Amy who passed the ball to the corner for Gorner to put up a three-pointer. Degenhart runs the floor and a career high. 23 for Tyson.
Makes it look pretty simple. Just like another day with his lunch pail at the coal mine. Just kind of gets his job done.
He just goes to work every day. Robinson, that's a good take. And Armush with better defense. Broncos, again, so strong defensively. Have been all season. No different here tonight.
Oh, good pass.
Armush blocked by Robinson.
Boy, Robinson, another one who doesn't really look like a freshman. He's going to be a nice player for the Spartans.
To be fair to Sean Robinson, he isn't really a freshman. He's spent 2 years at Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Redshirted 1 year, got opportunity. Of course, with the COVID year, you get it back.
Gosh, it's a good point. Who knows these days, right? I mean, you've got 26-year-olds out here playing as juniors.
Robinson's going to be around for a long time. Another player who we haven't seen tonight for San Jose State, we won't see, but very interesting pickup for them. He's just a sophomore. 7-foot center Ibrahima Diallo from Senegal, Ohio State transfer. He's over on the bench, not dressed this evening. He's one definitely to watch for the Spartans in terms of players that could really help take the program to the next level, possibly next year.
Yeah, I mean, Coach Miles has done a good job. I mean, they've got the transfer from Arizona, the transfer from Oklahoma State, and he's putting some players on this squad.
Also got Trey Anderson, a sophomore who's transferred from South Carolina.
Right.
Definitely a lot of Power 5 influence on the San Jose State squad. Boise State has much of the same.
Good
Armush,
pass.
what a feed from Rice.
Really good pass by Max Rice.
Well, Boise State was favored by 21.5 points coming into this contest as Rice just takes it away. Amari Moore has been looking to pass all game long, and it has not been productive for him. It's a 17-2 run for Boise State.
Yeah, you kind of felt that was coming. I didn't know if it was going to be 17, but they've kind of closed this thing out. 9 minutes to go. It's a lot of basketball left, but oof.
Amy Jr., MJ again strikes from the floor. 6 of 7, 15 points.
Boy, he's really nice. How did San Jose State get him? I mean, he is a nice player.
Rice nearly got a free steal there. Got right behind Amy Jr. That's a big pickup. MJ again feeling it. A heat check rolls out.
Let's see if Kuzmanovic has got a heat check for him. he's uh-oh.
Shaver getting space. Not a lot of opportunities for Shaver in this one, so firing when he's open. Did Degenhart hit it out? Yes, he did, according to the officiating crew. And the always animated freshman.
I might have to agree with Tyson on this one. It kind of looked like it went off of Spartan at the last minute. One tip, here goes another one.
Boise State calls the timeout. Leon Rice. We've done all this talking about Tim Miles. Of course, he's a huge name in college basketball. Came back. We haven't talked much about the man who currently leads all active Mountain West coaches in wins. Leon Rice, the only person who has more all-time wins as a member of the Mountain West and more Mountain West Conference wins than Rice is Steve Fisher, all-time great San Diego State coach. Leon Rice has put together a fantastic program during his 12 years with Boise State and trying to get them back to the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2015.
Yeah, we probably don't talk enough about Leon, but he's only the all-time winningest coach at Boise State. He's been coach of the year a number of times. He wins 81% of his games at home. I will tell you what people have forgot. He has brought the best talent to Boise State in 30 years. I mean, his 12-year run here, the best players that have ever played here, he's recruited them.
Think to Chandler Hutchinson, Derek Alston, Justinian Jessup, all players who have gone on to either be drafted or at least go to the NBA G League like Alston.
When you think of Derek Marks and Nick Duncan and I mean, they've just had some amazing basketball players here in Boise, Idaho.
We got a whistle for a foul as Kejab started to drive the lane. Josh O'Garo, another redshirt freshman, transfer from Oklahoma, by the way, who we didn't mention earlier. He's the one who got knee-on-knee contact with Kejab. There's just a lot of pieces on this San Jose State team. When you look at the roster just on paper, you think next year or the year after, they're going to be right there amongst Boise State, Wyoming, Colorado State, San Diego State in terms of the talent that they've brought in and getting those cogs all aligned.
You got to think that's a realistic possibility. A good young roster, a quality coach who's been around the block a number of times. And, of course, again, the hotbed of college basketball, the Bay Area, or high school basketball, the Bay Area. So plenty of opportunities to recruit kids.
Outside Cardenas. Not a lot going for the Spartans. That's a tough three. Wow, Myron Amy Jr. really making his case here.
He might be making a case for freshman of the year. He might say, okay, Degenhart, I see you over there. How about a little of this?
Amy is still the only Spartan in double figures. He's got 18. Gorner is second with 8 points.
Amy's a junior. I'm sorry, my mistake.
There's Amy again. 3 ball. Wow, what a game. 4 of 5 from outside, 8 of 10, and he's got 21.
Yeah, you got to give the Spartans credit, man. They just keep playing, mixing up their defenses.
It's been close, and San Jose State keeps trying to make something happen, but it's Boise State with a big advantage on the Mountain West Network and Stadium. San Jose State not going away. Leonard Barry, Brian King with you. What a game from Myron Amy Jr. Take a look at that heat map. He has been electric from everywhere.
Yeah, we might want to send him this screen later. We can text it to him for him to save forever because this may be the best game he's played. 21 points, 8 of 10. Look where he's got the shots. He just gets them from everywhere. This kid is an outstanding basketball player. And again, future is bright.
It's the best game for Amy against D1 opposition. His best game of the season came against Bethesda in the last victory for San Jose State all the way back on January 8th. In that game, he had 30 22 points, hit 5 threes, grabbed 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, broke the Spartans' freshman scoring record in that contest. But Bethesda, not a D1 opponent. He's doing it on the big stage against the big dog in the Mountain West right now, right. Boise State, 8-1 in the conference. And Amy, kind of his breakout game of sorts in terms of Mountain West play.
Boy, against the best defensive team in the conference. And you know, with that video right there and a little graphic of him, doesn't look like he's done. He's kind of got the look in his eye. He's going to go get a few more.
And even with all the talk about MJ and how well he's been playing, he's still being outshined in every statistical category by Tyson Degenhart. Degenhart's got 23 points. They're equal with 7 rebounds apiece. And Degenhart's got 1 more assist, 2 compared to 1.
That might be the story within the story today, is the battle between the 2 freshmen.
It certainly has been. And for Amy Jr., he might feel a little bit hard-pressed about all these Mountain West Freshman of the Week awards going to Tyson Degenhart when he's pouring in performances like these.
They have an axe to grind here in Boise, Idaho.
He wanted that step-back 3. He did, MJ. Robinson, pass fake, and that gets a lot of space. But Kijab is there to take his 3rd charge of the night.
Yeah, I mean, most players don't get 3 charges a season. Kijab's got them all tonight. Robinson just got himself in the air, had nowhere else to go.
Broncos up big. 6.5 left to play in Boise at ExtraMile Arena.
Another couple minutes if I'm Boise State. I might be clearing that bench a little bit. Maybe 3 more minutes. Make sure nothing happens that you don't want it to happen.
Spartans, unfortunately, don't have that luxury. With the 7 players that they've brought here on the road trip. Boise State looking for the best shot right now. They're using a lot of clock to do it, though. 3 for Degenhart. Turnaround Jimbo doesn't go, and it's pulled down by Sean Robinson. Top of the key, Moore. He has been but a non-factor. He'll pick up an assist there. He's in danger of fouling out as well. He's got 4 personals, and he got just his 3rd assist. Boise State has put the clamps on him throughout the night.
Yeah, pretty quiet night, but you know, it kind of just looks like he doesn't really want it, though. Kind of, he's just very passive tonight.
Armish tries to finish on the left side, beckons for a foul call that never comes. Cardenas, Robinson, 2-handed slam. And San Jose State continues to just poke Boise State in the side every time they can.
They just keep playing. They just keep playing, running their guts out. Subs about every 2 minutes, gets a couple fresh bodies in there.
I think you got to give a lot of credit to the Spartans for the way they've played tonight. Yes, it's not that close on the scoreboard, but just the effort level that they put out with the reduced numbers, with the record that they have, still trying to grind away for that first conference win. It seems like it's certainly coming sooner rather than later.
Yeah, they certainly haven't gone away, right? I mean, they've battled Boise State.
Amy Jr. again.
Wow.
He's going to walk out of this arena, and Boise Fire Department is going to be out there with a fire extinguisher for him. Shaver's open again. Right wing 3 in and out.
Yeah, Amy deserved a standing ovation from this crowd. He has played fantastic.
That's a tough shot by Shaver. Degenhart scoops up the miss. Got a lot of whistles going down low. There is one as Kijab misses over the top of Moore. But Abu Kijab will go back to the free throw line where he's 5 for 5 tonight. And he's got himself a double-double with that rebound. 17 points, 10 boards.
Yeah, kind of a nice quiet 17 for Kijab. Probably going to add, maybe, hopefully for him, add a couple more right here. Again, he is the straw as he goes, Boise State goes. And, you know, we haven't talked about Emmanuel Aycott. Not a bad player. Not suited up for Boise State, I mean.
Yeah, the fact that Boise State is doing this without Emmanuel Aycott even getting a single minute there is E-Man for the Broncos. Still got that warm-up hoodie on. Certainly a player that deserves some rest.
Yeah, and he's really had a nice season. And, again, he's not a natural point guard, I would guess, but has been forced to play the point for Boise State this year. And I think he's done a really nice job of handling this Boise State offense.
Yeah, the redshirt senior really was the Broncos' best shooter for a while in terms of dialing it in from distance. He hit 44 threes in Boise State's first 21 games, and he made at least one in each of the first 15.
40% shooter. Doesn't take bad shots. Very disciplined about the shots he takes.
Certainly relieves a lot of pressure off of Marcus Shaver Jr. for the Broncos as well. Kijab misses his first free throw, but it'll be tipped in by the Spartans, and it's going to count for a 2. They'll give it to Najee Smith. Certainly looked like Gorner had the last touch on it.
Well, Smith will take it. Looks good in the scorebook.
Kijab will pick up a blocking foul. Maybe the first time tonight that he hasn't got a charge. We'll take a break. Boise State 74, San Jose State 55. Boise State crashing the glass. There's that little tip in. Najee Smith gets credit for the bucket. Tough to tell who actually got it last, but it did look like he maybe flipped the fingertip up there.
Hey, he'll take it. He'll take it. He's going to claim that bucket for sure.
Broncos plus 10 in the rebounding margin. 28 total rebounds compared to 18 for San Jose State. Spartans and Broncos both continuing to just bomb away from deep. 27 put up by San Jose State. Boise State has shot 25 three-pointers. And Tibet Gorner shooting 2 at the free throw line. Make it 1. It's a 1 and 1. But he made the first, so he will shoot the second.
Yeah, nice looking young player.
Second one goes down. 8 games last year at Arizona for Gorner as he hits the bench. This is his first year with San Jose State. Came to the U.S. from Turkey before his junior high school season. Playing at Montverde Academy in Florida and then moved to California. Shaver's got a lot of space. Did not decide to pull the trigger, however.
Well, good job by the Broncos handling the pressure. Now they'll burn a little bit of clock. San Jose State, they just keep playing. Really good pass.
That is great ball movement, but Shaver leaves it short. He hasn't had the stroke that he normally does tonight. He's 3 of 9 from the floor. Just 2 of 6 from outside as well. This man has had it all night long, but MJ misses that time, just his second three-pointer that doesn't connect.
We just saw an interesting score from around the country. Duke 57, Carolina 41. Coach K's last time at Chapel Hill, and he's putting it to him.
ACC this year has been historically underperforming in terms of what they normally do, especially at the top of that conference. It's part of the reason why a lot of people think the Mountain West could be a 4-bid team. Rice hits the floor. Robinson takes the offensive foul. Charge credited for Max Rice. We saw the standings earlier, though, Brian. There's definitely a lot of teams in the Mountain West that have legitimate claim, and whoever wins that tournament is getting the automatic bid. Could be a team like Utah State, who right now really isn't even in the conversation, but is getting hot.
It really could be. I mean, you could see 3 to 4 Mountain West teams legitimately in the NCAA tournament. They've got to finish strong. We're going to beat each other up here down the stretch is the problem.
It's going to be very tough. San Diego State already in probably some serious danger of being among the first 4 out right now. Rice, end of shot clock 3. Robinson will just fly into the air. Just his 3rd rebound for the 6'9" forward. Cardenas puts the ball on the floor and miraculously gets it back, leading to an open 3 and a make for Trey Smith.
Boy, they don't quit. Great hustle play. Down under 2 minutes to go.
Smith getting trapped up. Broncos up by 14. Not a ton of time left, but still enough where Boise State could feel a little bit threatened if the Spartans started to put some things together. Beautiful dish from Shaver, but great defense on the backside. Ogaro gets there.
You really have to give San Jose State a lot of credit. I mean, they've not quit. They've battled. They've knocked down shots. A lot of really young players. I think they played well.
How about a 4th charge taken for Abu Kijab?
Shit, that was an easy one. Just stand there and let him run into you.
Ogaro dropping the hammer a little bit on Kijab. A Canadian gets in front of another one. Now he gets trapped at half court, but finds that outlet to Shaver. And now Boise State can start to feel a little bit more content. Just over a minute on the clock. But the Spartans at the moment have hit 6 of their last 7 shots. And Shaver puts the floater that will likely ice this one. A 16-point lead for the Broncos.
Shaver he's had a quiet 14.
Robinson going to work, turnaround is short, rebound Shaver, and Boise State can dribble out the majority of the remaining clock. It's going to be a big win for the Broncos, a bounce-back win for Boise State, a career game for Tyson Degenhart. And after losing in Laramie on Thursday, Boise State is going to rebound and improve to 9-1 in the Mountain West and pick up their 9th victory here at home. Broncos have won 10 or more home games in 10 of Leon Rice's 11 seasons, and they look destined to do it with still plenty more on the docket this season. They've got 5 chances to get win number 10 at ExtraMile Arena.
Yeah, I would think, highly probable that happens. And if you're a Boise State fan, you certainly hope that happens.
MJ at the buzzer. No. Kejab the rebound, and make it 18-11 for Abu Kejab in a winning effort for Boise State. 76-60 Boise State will win. Got to give a lot of credit to the Spartans, specifically Myron Amy Jr. What a performance from the freshman, but just simply not enough for the Spartans with just 7 men to come in and take down the Mountain West's best.
Yeah, not enough ammo for San Jose State, but honestly, I think that, the cupboard is not bare in San Jose. Nice roster, fantastic coach. This is going to be a program over the next couple of years that the Mountain West is going to have to reckon with.
Right now, though, it's Boise State. That's the program that has to be reckoned with. They improved to 9-1. They extend that lead over Wyoming, at the moment at least, to a full game at 9-1. Wyoming 7-1, but will be in action very soon. And we are going to talk to Bronco head coach Leon Rice. Leon Rice will be joining us soon. Wyoming plays tomorrow at Fresno State. That'll be a big one for the Cowboys. Big victory here today for the Boise State Broncos. And as I mentioned, joining us now, head coach of the Boise State Broncos, Leon Rice. Leon, you go to Wyoming, very tough place to play, hard-fought game. You come back, it's got to be a bounce-back game. San Jose State plays you tough throughout the whole contest. How did it feel, though, to have the support of your fans?
Oh, that was so great. It's awesome to have our fans here, and it probably got us through this game because this was a hard one. We played a tough game. We've had this long run of tough games and lots of on-the-road ones, and the fans made a huge difference. I mean, these guys have worked so hard this year and battled night in and night out, and it means a lot that these people came out to see them, and it, San Jose, he's doing a great job with that under the circumstances. If you let them shoot, they're going to make them, and we're pretty good at guarding the 3, and they were still making a lot of them.
Yeah. Hey, Coach, how much are you looking forward to a little time off this week?
We're calling it the All-Star break. That's what it felt like, an NBA schedule, one after another, and they deserve a break. And we didn't have E-Man tonight,
right.
And that's scary. We're down a soldier, and we don't rotate that many guys through, so we had to have some guys step up tonight, and we sure did.
Thanks for the time, Coach. We really appreciate you coming over here and giving us some time. Leon Rice, after the Boise State victory, 76-60, the final. Boise State knocks off San Jose State, improved to 9-1 in the Mountain West, and now we're going to be joined by the leading scorer for Boise State on the night, Tyson Degenhart. A career high for you, Tyson, here tonight, 23. You're getting looks inside, outside. Teammates were setting you up. You were setting them up. How did it feel to have so much offensive success here today?
It felt good to bounce back after a tough loss at Wyoming, get our offense going. Our offense struggled a little bit at Wyoming, but it felt good to get some buckets today.
Hey, Tyson, do you prefer inside or outside? I mean, does it matter to you? What do you want to be? You want to spot up on that three? You want to take it to the rim? What's your favorite?
It really doesn't matter to me. As long as we get the win, it doesn't really matter for me.
And coming off of that loss at Wyoming, it was a tough game. You know, you had to bounce back here today. You're still the favorites in the Mountain West right now, 9-1. You're still at the top of that conference. How much does it mean for you going forward, knowing that you're going to have a target on your back every game when people come in here?
Well, we know we have a target on our back because we're at the top of the standings, but we just got to take it game by game and just focus on our next opponent.
We appreciate the time, Tyson. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Tyson Degenhart, Boise State freshman phenom. Brian, you're a big fan of Tyson's, and he showed why.
Gosh, fabulous freshman. I mean, who can not be a fan of it? He just keeps it so simple, and he's so confident. He's so relaxed. He takes the shot as it comes to him. He doesn't force anything. He defends. He takes charges. How can you not like him? I mean, I don't know him. I'm proud of him. I love watching him play. But he had a wonderful game today. It's really fun to watch a player of that caliber.
Yeah, there were a couple of freshmen who really made the impact. Degenhart for Boise State, and then Myron Amy Jr. Here's a breakdown of them side by side. Practically the exact same throughout the day. Amy just doing a little bit better from outside.
The future is bright for Myron Amy. I mean, holy smokes. Talk about those are your two leading candidates right there for Freshman of the Year. These guys both are just playing way above their level. They are not freshmen anymore, right? We've got a number of games under their belt. These guys are the key components to their basketball teams.
It's the only time Boise State is going to play San Jose State this year, but possibly not a team that you would want to see in the Mountain West tournament. Big victory for the Broncos as they get back to their winning ways. They defeat San Jose State here today at ExtraMile Arena. They'll take on UNLV next Friday at home. For my broadcast partner, Brian King, and the rest of our crew here at Boise State, I'm Leonard Berry, thanking you for tuning in to our production of Mountain West basketball. It's the Broncos 76, the Spartans 60, our final from Boise.